big win for us. Really proud of our guys. We talked about just trying to focus on defense, getting stops, playing in the flow off our stops. I thought we did a pretty good job of that tonight. You know, I thought Trelly really kind of led the way in that regard. And then, you know, when you've spent a lot of time working on your game, I tell the guys, when you lose yourself in the game and just worry about stuff you got full control over, and the game comes to you, he ends up career high in threes made, 7 of 10. So couldn't be happier for him because he's been a great leader trying to get the team to just focus on getting stops and playing the flow. And I think every one of his threes just came in the flow. It wasn't off any sets we ran. So it was great. And then, you know, Houston, I think, was happier for Trelly's 7 threes than Trelly was himself. So when we talk about Mudita and all that, he had that at a really high level. You know, Houston hits the late 3, which is great. Felt great for him because he's worked so hard, but he ends up winning the hard hat. I think he's happier winning the hard hat than he would be making 7 threes because he was super happy for Trelly to make those. So, you know, I thought the ball moved first time since the Maryland game that we had multiple guys with 5 or more assists, with a Holloway at 8. So it's great to have him back. Really created some offense for us. You know, and Philon was good too. I thought he had the ball moving well too. So great to have the two of them together. Kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off Labaron to create. It'd be great if we can get Amari back, and kind of all 3 of those guys could help create some offense for us. But the theme tonight was defense. Let's just focus on getting stops, playing in the flow. So I think we need to keep the theme. Now, it's a lot easier said than done. You know, Florida's pretty good coming up here Sunday, but to tell you it was good, we'll celebrate tonight's win at least till tomorrow morning when we start to look at Florida.
Hey, Nate, just wanted to ask about Charles Bediako's spacing on the floor, what he allows Aiden Sherrill to become more of an offensive player. He told us he gets to play on the perimeter more, and just do you feel like you can unlock more offense from Sherrill with having Bediako on the floor with him?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Aiden's been playing really well. Before Charles came, I think it does allow him to step out, maybe, you know, play more like a 4, like more threes. He had the nice drive at the top of the key today. I'm not sure if that was when Charles was in or out. I can't remember for sure, but you know, he for sure gets a little more comfortable playing on the perimeter because he started at the 4 tonight. So, you know, I don't know how many minutes they ended up playing together. They started both halves together, and then we tried to keep, you know, at least one of them in. We got Noah 5 minutes when I think they were both on the bench. So, you know, they weren't in there a ton together, but I do think they're more than capable of playing together. And the Florida game, they've got real bigs that, you know, we may have to match those two in a lot more than, you know, they may both have to play more than 22 and 18 minutes tonight. So but I do think, you know, but Aiden hit the 1-3, but he really hit the second one with his foot on the line. He should have been 2 for 4, you know, because he just get his foot back an inch, and then he'd be 2 for 4. So he can definitely shoot. He goes to the line. He goes 7 of 9. Charles goes to the line, goes 6 of 6. So those two, to me, they look good together. They're playing well together in practice. They're pushing each other, making each other better. So, you know, I was happy for them.
Yeah, with Wrightsell's performance tonight kind of looking more like he was really before his Achilles tear, just how close do you think he is to that form, and just expand a little bit more on the impact he can have on both ends of the floor?
Based on the night, it looks like he's back. Just keep our fingers crossed and hope he can stay injury-free, because this is a career high in threes made. I mean, that first year with us, he had the number 4 offensive rating in the country on Ken Palm due to his efficiency. So, you know, I thought he was significantly more efficient. I don't think he took any non-rim 2s tonight. I think he, hold on, I'm looking right now. Sorry. Yeah. He took 7 of 10 from 3, and he had 1 at the rim I thought he easily could have made. So, for whatever reason, he's shooting a lot more of the non-rim 2s, and his efficiency's gone down a little bit this year. I think part of that's the ball hasn't been moving as much. We haven't been playing off stops because our defense hasn't been maybe as good as it needs to be, and we're not getting in the flow like we need to. So, I'm happy for him. I think this is what we need out of him, what he's capable of, and not that he's going to go 7 of 10 every night, but he's going to be the threat to go 7 of 10 every night, which is big.
Coach, you said that you weren't really happy with the speed of this team. What were your thoughts on the tempo tonight? And just in general, do you think that playing with a faster tempo comes at the cost of having more turnovers?
You know what? You asked, did our tempo cause Missouri to turn it over more?
Just in general.
Oh, cause our turnovers to be more?
No, just in the grand scheme of the game, do you feel like playing with a slower tempo this season has caused y'all to have fewer turnovers?
No. I think we can play fast and not turn the ball over. I think giving ourselves a little bit better spacing this year and emphasizing, I think, honestly, when I hired Coach Pannone 3 years ago, our turnovers went down significantly. He helped with it, and they've gone down even more. I think Coach Fleming brought some spacing in that's really helped our guards not turn it over much. We're not trying to play slower. I think, honestly, if we played faster, we'd play in the flow more. Like, we get our early advantages we can create, keep the team in the blender. I think now there's a point to you don't want to be out of control playing fast, which I'm sure is what maybe you're referring to. But I think we can play faster and still be under control. So what do we have? 7 turnovers tonight. Our turnover percentage was under 10%. That's pretty good. So we're going to try to speed the game up without turning it over more, with it turning it over even less. And I thought tonight was pretty good. We ended up with 73 possessions, which we'd like to be closer to 80. We've only been there once. We were, I think, at 82 or 84 against St. John's. So, but we can't be down in the 60s either. So this still wasn't as many possessions as we'd like, but I did think we played with some tempo and some pace for a good part of this game.
Yeah, Jalil only played in the final 4 minutes. I know you've spoken about his minutes decrease in the past. Just kind of what was the decision to just wait until the final minutes tonight?
Yeah, so going into the game, we really just preached defense. I just wanted everybody to focus on defense. And I played the guys at the beginning of the game until we built the lead up that I thought. And part of your defense is also making sure that you take care of the ball. As Emily was talking about, turnovers, our turnovers have been down. Live ball turnovers don't really give your defense a chance to even set up. So we looked at defensive leverage numbers, who's better with them on the floor on the defensive end, and we kind of went with the guys that had the highest defensive leverage numbers, and that's what we decided to do tonight.
You just addressed it with the defense, but Missouri scored the fewest points of any high major opponent against y'all tonight. What did you do so well? What did you see on the defensive end that worked so well to generate the stops?
Well, I think we were as locked into the scouting report, film study, really guys paying attention, shooters, non-shooters. And look, they had the one kid, Barrett, that I think is a really good player, but yeah, he's made 2 threes all year and none in SEC play, and he threw 2 of them in tonight. So, and I just told Holloway, don't even worry about it. You're doing a great job, exactly what we're telling you to do. We felt like we were helping off the appropriate guys, making sure we did, his first game all year that Pierce hasn't made a 3. So I'm not saying it was all our defense, but I thought we did a pretty good job being locked into the guys that could shoot, couldn't shoot, making sure that, and I thought, they're able to score inside. I mean, Mitchell's a 4 that's really been able to feast on some smaller 4s, and he just drives it and just overpowers guys. Well, he can't do that to Aiden Sherrill very well. So we kind of had the luxury of having the 2 bigs, which helped us, I thought, defensively quite a bit tonight too.
Yeah, you mentioned after the Tennessee game wanting to start better in the second half. Just how do you think that went tonight?
I thought it was better. I mean, if Barrett hadn't thrown those 2 threes in, we'd have been great. I mean, I think they had scored 10 points, and those 2 threes were 6 of the 10. Like, I mean, I thought our effort, our intensity, our attention to what the game plan was significantly better. We were willing to live with Barrett shooting threes, and he threw 2 of them in.
Talked about how much the guards loved practicing with Bediako a week ago. Haven't seen it for 2 days, or for 2 games now. Just what kind of dimension does his lob ability add to this offense?
Yeah, I mean, he gives you, everybody talks about spacing on the floor. He also gives you some vertical spacing that people have to pay attention. So, when he's running to the rim and they know he can catch a lob, now you got to bring help in. We got 39 threes off tonight. We've got to be able to get our shooters off and open, and I think him just kind of giving us some of that vertical spacing, being a lob target, is going to make teams pull a third guy in to guard her. So if the teams want to switch, I think we can throw it up on the guards. If, they want to be aggressive, I think Barry can get downhill and look at the lobs. So, I think it's great. Barron likes playing with him. Holloway, Trelly, they all do. I mean, you see him looking for him at the rim. So, and I think it opens it up for Rel a little bit too, to be honest with you. I think we were missing Aiden earlier in the year where he could go catch some lobs too. It's probably a little easier to get him for Charles. He maybe gets up a little bit quicker, higher, whatever it is. He seems like a little bit better lob target, but I think that the guards are getting in their head. We can throw these lobs to our bigs, which then hopefully gets Aiden some more lobs in turn as well.
One of your best defensive performances today. What's going to be the key in carrying that over into the rest of SEC play, starting with Florida?
Preparation. I think our guys really, we were 3-3. Nobody signed up to play here to be 500 in SEC play. That's not who we are. It's not the program they walked into. We're averaging 14 wins in SEC play a year over the last 3 years. Everybody needed a wake-up call, including myself. However we were doing it wasn't working. So we spent a lot more time on our preparation, a lot more mandatory. Got to get in here and study film. We needed to earn the win before the game started. I don't feel like we've been doing that in the past. Tonight, we earned this win before the game started. So can we keep our guys locked in, mentally focused in video and walkthroughs and prep like we had going to this? That's going to be the key. And I think we can. It's going to take some leadership with the guys, some of our older veteran guys. Houston, Wrightsell, Barron's extremely smart, needs to lead this group. I thought he was better going in this game. Bediako brings a veteran presence, honestly. He walked in and knew the game plan, even the Tennessee one. I mean, literally 2 days, he had it down. I thought he was great tonight. So, I think the leadership's got to continue to step up and make sure our guys are really focused and locked into the preparation. And you got to have an intensity and an effort in the game to do it. So I thought it was better. And you can't let a little adversity, we had the Barrett throws in 2 threes. We had the 3 straight possessions where they were marginal goaltends. Maybe they got 2 buckets off ones, and maybe they were, maybe they weren't. I haven't seen the video. We had the one that maybe got taken off the back. I don't know. But just you can't let any type of adversity, missed calls, other teams got non-shooters throwing shots in, you miss easy layup you should have made, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Just focus in on getting a stop, and then our offensive flow off our stops. I think if we have that mentality, we can keep this defensive effort up.
Coach, Taylor Balboa had 10 rebounds in 19 minutes and did a really nice job on the glass. He's been struggling with his shot. How do you guys as a staff, kind of get him going offensively and get him back in the flow?
I think part of it was he was playing with the hand injury for a couple weeks and just kind of manned up and was a warrior and came out, got double-digit rebounds with it. So having this longer break, we don't play till Sunday, will be great for him. I think he can really get healthy, get in the gym. I mean, he's a guy that really, takes ownership of the fact he's very skilled, spends a lot of time in the gym. We've had to get him to understand that we need him to be tough, physical, do all the, blue collar stuff, if you will, and he's bought into it over the last month. So now I think he can do both. Like, you can be the skilled, tough, hard-nosed blue collar guy as well. So I think we'll get both in. I love where his mind's at right now. He's one of those, like Trelly's struggled for a little bit. I mean, Taylor could come out and go 7 of 10 from 3 at any point. Nobody would be surprised either. So hopefully one of his is coming here soon. Him and Houston both. Appreciate you guys.